All right, everyone. Today is a great day. It is nice to have you all here in the house today. My name is Bruno, also known as Crypto Blaze, and I'll be your host for tonight's meeting on a very important topic. The we're going to speak about today, the power of compounding. What this Diamond AI could actually give us, the potentials involved in this Diamond AI. But before we go, I would like to just quickly sound a very loud disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything you see here is strictly for educational purposes and illustration. Please kindly do well to pause this video to the case you are watching after the Zoom meeting, and then just go through the disclaimer and make your decision yourself. So we are talking about Nostra AI today. Yes, AI is nothing new to anybody in this era. We've actually had AI expert advisors and trading the forex market. I bet a lot of us could have tried one or two that didn't go well, but Nostra AI, I can tell you for free, it's a cutting edge expert advisor. It is not like what I've been using before. I, for one, if I have not used any expert advisor, I can tell you I've used over 300 expert advisor. I've tried countless of them, and there's one thing they all have in common, and that is martingale and great trading trades, which always end up, liquidating your whole account in just one trade. You can end up liquidating your whole account in just one trade if you are trading with, one of such robots. But Nostra AI, it's not like one of those robots. Nostra AI actually trades with what a very good risk management in place, which ensures that every trade in the board goes into, it has a particular number of loss it's willing to risk, and then it has a particular take profit is aiming for that day. Once it goes both ways, either the stop loss or the take profit, it ends for that day to continue again the next day. And then again, the Nostra AI doesn't take trade based on emotions. If you're a trader here in the house, you know that there's no way, even seasonal traders, once in a while, their emotion do comes into play. Nostra AI trades strictly based on data it receives from the markets. As a result of these two, it's able to adapt to various market conditions, whether be it trending, ranging, even during bank holidays like we saw in January, precisely January 19th, there was a US holiday, but the board still performed very well and gave us what profits for that day. Then we know there's what we call risk to reward in trading. In trading, you actually become profitable if you have a very good to reward, risk to reward. Take, for instance, you're using a risk to reward of 1:3. This simply means that if in every three trades you will lose two and you win one, you remain profitable. And then if we go for a risk to reward of 1:10, this simply means that if in every 10 trades you lose nine, you win one, you will remain profitable. So we have such an EA with Nostra AI. And then there's also what we call win rates. So win rates is actually the percentage of your profitable trades compared to your losing trade. So the higher your winning trades to your losing trade, it means you have a higher win rate. And if you have a higher win rate, you are most likely to end in consistent profits. What happens when you have a system that gives you higher win rates and a system that has a very good risk management? That is what Nostra AI presents to us. With these two systems, you are assured of long-term success. But today, we'll be talking strictly on the system that has the highest win rates in Nostra AI. This system does not have a very good risk to reward. As a matter of fact, I can tell you the risk to reward is negative if there at all should be anything like that. But, mark my buts, the win rate is what sets this EA apart. The win rate is so mind-blowing, and with a very good high win rate, even with a negative risk to reward, you could actually remain profitable. And with this Nostra AI Diamond, you can actually copy it for free without paying any upfront fee at the Pay Your Prime broker currently, only the Pay Your Prime broker. And then the bot has the potential of giving us 70% per month, of which when Nostra AI takes that 30%, because at every profit you make, there's a 70-30% sharing. So you probably end up with roughly around 50% on average every month. Again, your funds are 100% in your control. If you start copying today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, you make money, you say you don't want to get, you can easily go there, withdraw your money. Nobody asks you any question whatsoever. You are 100% in control of your fund. And then the risk per trade. So for the Nostra AI Diamond, the boat actually raised 20% per day. So on going into every trade, it raised 20%. And then it is aiming what 5%. So like I said, it has a negative risk to reward because in this case, we are risking 4 to get 1, not risking 1 to get 4. If that term sounds vague in your mind, don't worry yourself. During the course of the video, you understand what I mean. So, but because of the fact that the boat has a higher win rate, that is the edge. Yeah, if you are a trader, you know what it's called edge. That is the edge this boat actually has, over the forex markets currently. So quickly, we'll just run through, the results the board did in the last quarter of the year 2025. So as you can see right on your screen, you will see that on the 1st of September down to the 30th of September, the board has just only one loss, giving us 87% profit. And like I said, when you remove the 30% Nostra AI collects, you end up with roughly about 60% for the month of September. Now, you can set a steady shot. So we only had one lazy day in September, like we said. Now, after that, it was a very seamless and, straightforward shot. So we go into October. October was the toughest month the bulls had last year so far. In the 5 months, the bulls had actually traded live and direct on the forex market. And in October, the bulls actually had what 4 losses. Yes, so it had 4 losses, and as you can see, the other days were profitable. Yes, and at the end of the day, we ended up with roughly what 20% overall profit. Not shy, I takes their 30%. That will give us roughly about 15%, 16% thereabouts profit for the month of what of October. Now, in the chat, I want you to know something remarkable that might answer the question the lady had the first time. Now, you can see the boat was trading in the first part of the month up to on the 6th or so. We made about 92% profit. So for anyone that copied on the 1st of October, practically when the loss happened, we lose 80% from the 90% we made in about a couple of 4 days. Yes. So, and as you can see, even upon that, our capital wasn't touched because we just lost 80% of the profit we made. And then from there henceforth, it was a ride of some couple of wins onto this point. We lost 70%. We won like 2 more. We lost again, won 2 more, lost again. And overall, we still ended that month with about 20% profit. So from this now, you could just get the idea. You could see whenever we lose, if we have a losing day in Nostra AI Diamond, it takes us roughly 4 days to recover the money back. That is why I said it has a negative risk to reward. But the win rate is mind-blowing, and that is what sets this EA apart. And then you can go to the month of November. As you can see, again, just one losing day. If this doesn't tell you anything, it should tell you that this EA, the win rate is just mind-blowing. This is not 1 month. This is not 2 months. You understand? And in November, like I said, we had just, again, one losing day. And then we ended that month of November with 77.122%. Again, Let's try removing their 30%. You go home for that month with roughly about 50-something% for the month of November. Again, this is the chart, very similar chart, down onto the ninth day. And let me just sound this. You as a trader, you could actually even escape this last loss we had. Let me give you the reason why I said that. If you do your mathematics all the way from the 1st to the 27th, you could see that we actually had about roughly 100% already. And then if you check your accounts, you made 100% on the 26th, on the 27th. You can easily just pause the board. You don't need to continue trading to the end of the month. Even you can just have a target. Okay, in a month, I'm looking for 20%, 30%, 40%. Once you have that, you just simply stop copying for that month and you wait till the next month. There's no rule that says that you must continue to the end of the month. And if you do that for the month of November, for instance, you could have escaped this last trading day loss. You get so, but that is just about the side with the but if I say, okay, you want to go all in, it's completely fine as well. Everybody has their own risk tolerance. And then we come to the month of December, which is the month I call the flawless victory month. Yes, I like to use that word. Maybe because I'm a fan of Mortal Kombat, for those of us who play games. So it's a flawless victory month. There was no losing day in the month of December. All ran profits. All ran profit. And you can see In this case, this month has 100% win rate, 100% win rate. Hardly you see such a system out there. These are not fabricated results. They are results that happen live in the market, like the results were traded live and direct in the forex market. You understand? So, and in this month of December, for instance, now, when Nostra AI removes at 30%, you see that you end up with roughly about 80, 85, 90% thereabout, as the case may be. And you can see the very clean and what flawless chart of December. So there comes January. I should have updated this slide before this meeting today, but like I told you, I was just coming back. So I had no time to add the result of this week. Up until today, being the 25th of January 2026, Nostria has achieved about 81%. Yes, about 81% for us without any losing day again in the month of January. This is not magic. It's the system. Do you understand? It's a system that is put in place. And, like I told you, Nostra actually aims for 5% a day. But in the market, there's what we call slippage. Slippage can either affect us, reduce our profits, or be in our favor. That is why you can see some days are 3 point something, 4 point something, some days are 8 point something. Why? Because the slippage worked in our favor for that day. So for January so far, we had no losing day yet. Who knows? Maybe they could have about 5 days remaining to trade the next week. Those 5 days could actually be, a win for us. We can't tell. We'll just wait to see how that goes. So you can again see the very flawless chart of what happened, what is happening currently in January. And now here comes the big part of the waiting for, the power of compounding. So this table was put together with the mindset of, let's say we give an average of 50%. But hold on, I will cut short that figure at the end of this video. So let's say we give an average of 50%, we compound $100 for 12 months. So if you do that, roughly you will have about $12,000 without withdrawing your profits, mind you. Even with Nostra AI taking their 30%, you are still having about 50%, and you don't withdraw any profits at all. At the end of the month 12, you would have gone, you have in your account roughly about $12,000. Now, what about if you are trading with $200? Similar thing will happen, but now with the higher reward. At the end of month 12, with the 50% profit target, you will have about what? 25,900, 25,000. Let's just leave the figures. Just earn $25,000. What about if you are compounding $500 at a rate of 50% every month? You will have roughly about $64,000. Now, what again? You are compounding what? $1,000 with a 50% profit at the end of every month. You will have what? Over a $129,000. If you have to do that mathematics, that's roughly about 100,000% in a year. And I can assure you, this result on its own is very, very conservative. Let me tell you why I said that. I'll quickly go back to the $100. So for those who are trading with about $1,000 and above, once you have that, the both compound roughly like every 2 days, because the both compound at an increase of $100 every day. So with a $1,000 account, you are making roughly about $50 a day. So any day you win 2 days in a row, automatically the both even compound daily. But what we gave you here is a monthly compound, not even daily. So take for instance, in the $200 account, you're compounding every 2 days. Will start from the 7th month and the 8th month. And then from the 9th month, your compounding will be daily, because every day, any roughly $100 for any day will make profits. And the next day, the both increase the lot size against what it used the previous day. So that compounding becomes what? Daily. And then again, the month of for $500, your 2 days compounding will start from the 5th month. And then as from the 7th month, your daily compounding will start. So this figure can even go way higher than this. And then for the $1,000, your 2 days compounding starts from day one. So if you are trading with $1,000, for instance, now every 2 days you earn $50 on an average. It can be 3 days before it became 100 based on slippage. You can't tell. So, but for every time you add an extra $100, the boat automatically starts compounding for you. It uses a different lot size than what it used the previous day. Again, being conservative, because I like being realistic. I don't like being, all numbers and numbers. Let's even slash this number by half. Let's say, for instance, we even go in with the $100, not even putting in the daily compounding. And then at the end of the year, you even have what? $6,000. There's nobody here that would use $100 to get $6,000 in a year that would tell me that that is nothing. That is way my like our sister was saying in this video before we started the recording. Bank doesn't even give you up to 50% in a month. But let's even say Nostra AI even give you 25% in a month on a steady. You could see that even slashing this number by two, 6,000 is still something mind blowing. 12,000 is something mind blowing with 200, and then $500 that will be looking at $30,000, and then 1,000 you'll be looking at about $65,000, being on like the very least conservative model at all. Do you understand? So with this, we'll come to the end of the meeting, and I will just quickly stop the recording. I think we still have some couple of minutes left. So anyone have any question, we could just quickly take them, and then we'll take it from there. So if you have any questions, please quickly unmute yourself and let's answer you yourself. Thank you.